And setting the record straight about the beating death of a World War II vet.
I would like to make it very clear, race was not a factor.
Well, robbery and not race. That's what Spokane's police chief says motivated the attack on a World War II veteran. But the department's focus has been on catching the people responsible for beating the 88-year-old to death last Wednesday. Delbert Belton was attacked as he sat inside his car at the Eagles Ice Arena. And this morning, Spokane police arrested 16-year-old Keenan Adams Kennard, found hiding in a north side apartment. The other suspect, 16-year-old Demetrius Glenn, made his first appearance in a packed courtroom today. His bail set at $2 million. KXLY4 Jeff Humphrey live now at the Juvenile Detention Center, where both suspects have been locked up for previous crimes. Jeff?
Nadine, young Mr. Glenn has been in here on an assault charge, and Adams Kennard did time here in the Juvenile Detention Center for a strong-arm robbery where he took a cell phone out of a young lady's hands. And despite the juvenile court's best efforts to put these young men on the straight and narrow, they are once again locked up here again tonight, specifically and allegedly for beating an elderly man to death, perhaps with their bare hands.
Today, I would like to assure our community that the two individuals we believe were responsible for the robbery and murder of Mr. Belton have been taken into custody.
Today, Chief Frank Straub credited the Spokane community with giving up the tips that led to Keenan Adam Kennard's arrest. Even though the teen's friends were trying to hide the suspected killer in this basement apartment, police surrounded the place and arrested Adams Kennard.
Police officers responded to an apartment in the 500 block of West Montgomery in Spokane. Mr. Adams Kennard was taken into custody without incident.
Straub is still at a loss at how two 16-year-olds could be so savage in the course of what could have been a pretty straightforward holdup. But a closer look at the veteran's hands showed that he had fought off his attackers.
Our information is that the individual fought back, and that may have, made this, a worse situation. And I'm not being critical of Mr. Belton. I would certainly encourage individuals to fight back.
Are you Demetrius L. Glenn, sir?
Yes, sir.
Today, Demetrius Glenn made a brief court appearance. The 16-year-old surrendered to police on the advice of his attorney and family.
When the police are looking for you like that in a situation like this, there's no point in running away or trying to hide, and he wanted to get in front of this, and so we contacted law enforcement, and he surrendered himself.
Glenn's attorney says he doesn't know all the facts, but thinks the public has been too quick to judge his client.
There's no physical evidence at this point. There's no eyewitness evidence that indicates what happened to Mr. Belton and how that happened. The closest that the affidavit comes that one individual saw two black males about 30 feet away from the car that ran off running. And beyond that, we don't know much.
And that's why Phelps has told his young client not to make any statements to investigators. That 16-year-old arrested here today, he will also be prosecuted as an adult and likely make his first court appearance tomorrow.
So, Jeff, those two suspects will remain in juvenile detention?
Well, even though they're 16 and then will be prosecuted as adults, the county's policy is to keep juvenile offenders until they reach age 18, no matter what they're charged with here in the Juvenile Detention Center. These young men, they would probably rather be over in the jail, because here in the detention center, they have to go to school, they have to do homework, and there are some very strict codes of conduct. A reward for exemplary behavior here inside the Juvenile Detention Center is a single stick of lip balm. And so if you are angry with these young men, you should be happy they're here in the detention center.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Meantime, a memorial service has been set for Delbert Belton. It is this Thursday, August 29th at Greenwood Memorial Terrace at noon, and it is open to the public.